So I'm going to record here. This is my heater out of my rig, just so she knows I'm recording, and we're on the kitchen table right now. But this is a heater out of my rig, and I've had a lot of starts where it hasn't ran because I had a leak and I had air in the system, so it cycled on and off. Well, now I'm getting a glow plug error, which I got a new one on order, but I'm going to see if I can fix this, because until that new one shows up, I have no heat right now, which I'm a little annoyed about. I had signs before, I just thought I had air in the system. Anyhow, this is a webasto thermo top EVO. It's what runs my radiant floor, heat exchanger for my hot water system, and everything else. As you can see, there's a lot of black crap, which means I'm not burning it long enough to get that black crap burnt off. It's just straight up air heat exchanger. I'm hoping we can fix it. So I have it out of the unit right now, and we're going to pull it apart and go from there. Okay. Yeah, the bottom off, it had a couple of clips on it that easily came off from the outside. Just this keeps it all covered up and everything. Anyhow, this I think is going to my heater. If you look right there, that looks like it has a little damage on the end, so maybe we'll look out where we don't have to replace it, but I'll go ahead and keep the other one. Plus it moves a lot. That one doesn't move at all, this one moves a lot. This might just be a bad connection. We might luck out on this whole thing. So let me pull that off and we'll go from there. Alright, so I get the bottom piece off and the upper piece off. There's just a couple little snaps, and this has a little snap on it here. It slides into here, just like that. You know, just pull it out. Supposedly this is the fan. I haven't tore it off. I just pulled the top off because I was more curious than not. I don't know if I'm going to pull this off or not. If I can get access to it, it depends on if I have to clean out the chamber or not. Cause I've read that's what could be if you're running your heater not long enough, it can burn up components inside there. And being it's kicking on and off for overheat conditions because of the whole air in the lines. I don't like messing with this thing because it puts a lot of air in the lines and causes a lot of random starts. So, let's see if I can get this off right here. This looks like this is a thermocouple. It goes up to the top to this piece right here. So I'm guessing it measures the water temperature. Probably right at it. It comes out at about 120 by the time it gets to my rig, but the longer it runs, the better it is. It's not an instant heat system, it's a long-term heat, but it needs to run for 30 minutes, and it uses about a half a gallon an hour, so it uses about a quarter gallon when it's running 30 minutes. I could go for days and just leave it on all the time. I just thought shutting it off. I might have to change how my heater's set up. I run it through a thermostat that runs the relay, the switch through a relay, turns it on and off. It's been in there for over a year, 2 years without a problem, other than air bubbles. I'm guessing the lines, this is from the top of a unit. I'm guessing it's the cold temperature and the hot temperature, the incoming and the outgoing temperature. I'm still assuming that this has a split in the middle of it, and it comes through, it goes around there and then comes out the hot side, and the burn chamber's in the middle of it, but I don't know for sure. Could not find anyone's teardown on this. It's an 800 to a 1500 device, so it kind of makes sense why there's no tear but down. And getting aftermarket parts are kind of hard. You have to call the company to get the parts. You can get them on eBay. Mostly they come out of Germany, which, Germany. And this is on a lot of stock cars over there, just for any diesel cars for starting in the morning. Anyhow, and I think this is the exhaust gas temperature sensor over here. So they look really simple to the extent that they're simple, but I bet they're, this is a cast piece with minimal work on it. I'm sure there's some complications to it. You need to get in here and get one of these plugins off. This stick a screwdriver and twist and pull. It actually lifts up the mechanism. I can do it with one hand. Hey Aaron, can you hold this for a second? I want you to point right there. Oh, having a third hand is awesome. There. Now when you stick it in there, it twists. Wait. Are you looking down the barrel of this? Thank you. You twist it and it lifts. Very nice design. German products. Alright, thank you. There's adjusting and pulling it apart, but look, it comes apart. Ew, that's dirty. Oh, look in that. That, it's a jacket. It's a water jacket with lots of fins going into the burn chamber. And that's all that your heater is, basically. Has a lot of carbon in it. I might spray it out and see if I can clean it up a little. Oh, that's cool. So the air comes in through this thing, hits that, and goes straight out the exhaust pipe. But that's really carboned up. That's probably most of my problem right there. Alright, I just bought the glow plug. Wherever it is. There's too much carbon in there. That's probably your problem. So, well, I've had a lot of these starts, but here, let's just pull this up. It's wet diesel fuel. And it's been hot and it's all carbony. That's probably why my glow plug's having issues. Can I see down there? Kinda, not really. Okay. That's a shame. I might should have bought the inner core. Anyhow, my understanding is it sucks in air, it goes around the blower. I guess it adds fuel. That doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be adding fuel until it gets into the chamber, because if you follow the fuel line goes in there and goes into that chamber, so it looks like we've had a back pressure issue. Let's see, let's look at our glow plug. There's our glow plug. There should be a way to remove it too. Probably gonna take this outside and hit it with some carbon choke cleaner and clean it up. Now this is a glow plug. This is the component I bought. It had a little clip on there. You just slide it up. Another little piece on it. Oh, there we go. It doesn't look that bad, does it? We'll clean it up. We'll check the connections for a bad connection somewhere. Is what my assumption is. Hard to believe that's a $200 part. And it has come from Germany. Pretty part, but still hard to believe it's that expensive. Yeah, I'm thinking it's just carboned up or something like that. But you can see if we can get it to work, because that would be nice. I don't know if there's any really good way to clean that, but I'll take it out there and spray it all out and clean it up. Okay, got it kind of cleaned out. Let's see if I can get the light on in here. Got it kind of cleaned out on the bottom. There's a little dispersion thing on the backside. I think that's what it is, for dispersing the gases as it injects right in the middle. There's some in the wall, so I need to clean up in there. Got almost all of it out. Looks better. Thinking maybe is that mat that was connecting. That's clean. That one's mostly clean. I'm gonna clean this a little more and then go back together. A little better. At least it doesn't look like it's blocking any ports. That's the biggest thing. We don't want blocking any ports. So clean. There's a dispersion thing on the bottom, it looks like. Can't tell for sure. Has hairs on it. And I'm guessing that there's a mat, or was a mat on the bottom to help hold the gas in, to help ignite. And the glow plug's actually what ignites it, is what I think. I'm going to try to clean that up by the glow plug too. That's what happens, and the glow plug ignites it. So if the igniter on the glow plug stops working, it probably can't run, so it throws an error code. Let's see if I can clean it up a little more. Alright, so the new one has a mat in it right there, and I'm thinking the mat's all melted away there. I'm guessing it's there to hold the gas in so it can ignite, and then it gives them probably a more even flame spread. Now this is a stainless steel scrubber from the dishwasher or dish sink. I'm thinking about shoving it in that hole to make up for the one that's missing in there. Of course, worst case scenario, it burns this up and it comes out the exhaust. There's not much of a path that goes forward and then comes back, and I'll be in there again. But it might give a better flame spread. I used a torch to clean this out earlier. It worked pretty good, but I think it may have burned off some of those pieces. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm going to confer with my friend Erin and see what she thinks, because she's a smart person. can get a little bit in it. I need to spread it out a little bit more, but maybe.
Actually, no.
We're playing a game on our coffee cups because we got too many in here.
Right.
Anyhow, I spread this out a little bit farther to get better coverage on the bottom there. We'll see. If not, I'm tearing this back apart out of the rig. Test it, so we'll see if that disperses the flame pattern a little more. I tested it down. I think there's just a bad connection, like a piece of carbon across the connections on the glow plug. But it does work initially, and then later on it stops working, so there could also be a bad solder or a bad wire in there that's spreading when it gets warmed up. But it's really wet in there, so we'll hope that's it. Conventional thought of this is to give a place for the liquid to hang out to mix with the air for better combustion. I wouldn't even thought about, but I've seen inside the newer one, and the new one has something similar. It has a better mat than this, but this should work if it's going to work. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to pull it apart and replace it anyhow in the future. Anyhow, the glow plug tested out okay. It tested alright. I still think there's a problem right here at this point with it, so I'm going to play with the wire, see if there's something there that almost looks like a break in the line right there. So we'll play with the wires and see if anything happens again. I'm going to shove the glow plug back in here and shove this in there and go from there. I pull the screws out, expose this. This uses some general connections on the top to connect it. It has a ground plane there for grounding it to the chassis. Has a motor in there, which you can't see, which runs a fan. I was checking to see if there was any leaks. I thought maybe I'd pull it apart this way. You can see a liquid on top of this. This is that waterproofing stuff that they put on circuit boards whenever they don't know if the circuit board's going to be exposed to moisture, so they throw it on top to protect the components. It's very good. I'm glad they did it. What's that? What is that? And I'm asking what that is this connection here. What is it to, and why is it not soldered into place? So there's like press fit in there. Okay. See if I can get this real quick. This is a circuit board. These are the ends going through the board. This might be the source of my entire problem, which
next time you have to go out, I'm walking you all the way to the back of the property.
Okay, anyhow, I'm going to focus on this really closely. It looks like they're not soldered. Now, you can experience an optical illusion sometimes with solder. They'll make it look like it's not soldered. It's definitely not soldered on the backside. Unless I'm experiencing optical illusion there too. I'll test it with a solid object, but it looks like it's not soldered back here on any of these. On the pins going outside, and it's just been sitting in there. See, doesn't it look like it's just floating in there? Like there's no solder holding these pins in place, so if they got warm, they disconnect and cause an error code. Oh, there's lots of computers. Okay, I'm gonna check it further. Okay, I got the bad solder, although that one looks like it needs to be retouched up. The solder is all put together. For some reason, they weren't soldered the pins down on either side. I pulled it up and looked at both sides, and neither side was soldered. So I went ahead and soldered them down. That can cause my error code that I was getting. I'm gonna hit that one up one more time with the solder. Not a perfect solder job because it has that heat on there. And that one kind of looks like a cold solder, so I might hit it up again. But everything else has been hit up. Well, looks like I got them all done. I bet that's my problem. Okay, get the bottom back on. Top fan cover back on. Shoving this back in there. Making sure this is not rubbing anywhere, which it doesn't look like it is. Make sure everything's aligned up there. That could cause a short. I'll check it with the ohm meter here in a second. And got the gasket back on. I still got the stainless steel in the middle. I don't know if I should leave it there or take it out. What do you think? What do you think, Aaron? Should I leave the stainless steel in there?
The stainless steel wool?
Yep. Using it as a dispersion.
Originally had something like that in there, yeah.
Yeah, originally it had something like that. I will try it. If nothing else, we'll be pulling it back apart, which we really want to do that not. Anyhow. It's kind of just laying in there, pressed into place. So, it could melt away too, so we'll find out. It'll give us error code. I'm sure there's some engineer that's watching this saying, no, don't do it. You're going to be buying a new one. Anyhow, there's that. Let's see, where am I at? Yeah, it's pretty simple. Tear down, put together kind of thing. And check the air intake. This is, go ahead and slide this on. This is the other part. The final part where the air jacket goes. I don't know, there's not much there to it. There we go. Put the screws in, get that gasket down, and then we'll be good to go a little more. Alright, we got this on. Put the lid on. Man, that goes together really fast. I think these things should be cheaper, but it's nice that they are. They probably just provide unlimited, really nice support and help. And everything else looks good. That's on. All I have to do is drop this on. Just slide this into that little hook back here for it and then snap down. Here we are, we're back together. We're ready to go try to install. I gotta put this back on. Okay, one little last thing. I wanted to run a continuity test on it, which is run it through the thing to the ground, make sure it wasn't shorting inside, and I will run a continuity test across the leads. But it would start up and running and then it act like it didn't, which acted like a bad connection, like an open somewhere, or short whenever it got warmed up. But I'm pretty sure the non-soldered circuit board was the problem, which is a little crazy. Anyhow, I did get off eBay for about half the price, and it ran fine for a year, so I'm guessing that's what it was. We'll find out. Alright, back together we go. Alright, so far so good. I had to pull it apart and take that seal wool out of it. It did not work at all. It made a mess, actually. So the second time together, I'm running it for the first time. After pulling that out, soldering the circuit board. Sounds good. It's smoke. I have to see some water in there to clean it up and put some other stuff in there. Sounds nice and quiet. I don't hear too much air. Oh, it shut down. Let's see why we shut down. We got a blinky. We got a blinky light. Alright, there's our blinky light. 2. Oh, it was 8. Fan got too overheated. Now, it might just be a lot of things. Let's reset. Oh, the fan's on the wrong setting. Fan should be on the other setting. See if we can get the heater going again. All I have is a relay on the switch that clicks on and off whenever it gets too cold. I had it spaced out on the temperature gauge, which is one of these temperature gauge, for 56 degrees or so. So it'd take it at least that long to warm up. Oh, it's still flashing. I didn't get enough long enough to shut down. I might have to go reset it too. 1, 2, 3. Still flashing. Let me go do a full reset on it. Nope, still doing it. Looks like it's gonna be a cold night. Alright, both the thing. Let's sit there and run. I'm not running into air issues because, yeah, I opened up the system, so I've got painful air issues. I'd like to hook a little bypass up to it. Oh.